What's going on, y'all? So y'all saw me share some clips of Turk's analysis and benchmarks on PC gaming, on the pro in general. He has really good tools and he's in touch with intelligent people. If we go take a look at his page too, um, you'll see right here, former Xbox and PlayStation hardware dev, now making AI GPUs, PC gamer, tech evangelist, calling out fanboys, information technology company based in Texas. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. So we've seen this before, right? Here he is, right? We thought that we were past certain things, and then here he comes again, this guy D Batch, who acts like he's a tech guy, but really he's kind of like, a little bit delusional, and he tries to act like he's smart and he knows everything he's talking about, but there's so many holes in his work, just like a couple other people. They were on the bandwagon of saying that the PS5 Pro is on par with a 4070. And not only that, but they tried to act like they were tech people, but really they're just regurgitating other people's aspects and acting like it's their own, but really it's not. So in this thread, the Turk exposes him and challenges him because he's telling him that all the stuff he's doing is and focusing on is nonsense. Not only that, but he brings up nonsense that I said that we were done. We're done with the anything past 16.7 teraflops. Yet he still continues to post this as we saw on the 20th recently later. So going over here, says, my haters so hurt they need to lie and increase the cope. The one who's coping is him because he still won't let it go. And Mark Sonny said, shut up with that after that. And it's people like him that are the problem here, that continue this with other idiots that are going along supporting it. As I've told people before, you can have 100,000 idiots like a delusion and a lie. It is still a lie. It's just 100,000 people are liking a lie. The PS5 Pro, Sony confirmed the PS5 Pro can do 67 tops at 16-bit operations. Once again, the conversation should have been over with right there. Because he already said the only thing that matters is the performance that you're getting. And I've been telling people this for a while. But yet this idiot is now mentioning 67 teraflops. He's going past the 33.5 and 33.4. Now he's going into 67. Guys, this is irrelevant because the only performance that you're going to be getting is what the 16.7 can do. That's it. Stop there. Game over. There's nothing else to talk about after that. If anybody continues after that, they're just being stupid and ignorant. And this doesn't surprise me. So and then he confirmed RDNA 2 and most of RDNA 3. He confirmed RDNA 4 and beyond. And beyond 4? Then he says, here is proof now, STFU. You see, this is what I mean. These type of ignorant apes, like they're just stupid and they're very ignorant. So Turk challenges him. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's say you're right. It has all the things you claim. It still performs like an RXE performance. Well, what is the results? Like a 6800 and an RTX 3070. So all the numbers you continue to claim really don't mean anything, just like Cerny said himself. The conversation's over with. Turk already shut him down. That's it. It's over. But I guarantee you, once again, here he comes right after that, right? Because he's ignorant. Because he thinks what he says means something. But really, Cerny already said it. Let's go take a look at this. Oh, by the way, I shared this in my video too. We're going to get to where Turk says, but let's go right here real quick before we go down to this conversation.
Called out, and there's one guy in particular that annoys the shit out of me. I believe he annoys everybody. He calls himself a tech guy. He goes out there and says, yeah, man, I'm a tech guy, man. Yes, I'm a tech guy, man. You guys need to get some coochie. Every time somebody disagrees with him or if we get into a debate with him, the first thing he says is we need to get some coochie.
Yeah, what a retard. So let's take a look at what Mark Cerny says real quick too, by the way, just to talk about what he's saying in the video here. He actually said this.
Trivial for the game to adopt, or better yet, invisible to the game program. One thing I'd like to clear up is the erroneous 33.5 teraflop number that's been circulating for PS5 Pro. That number isn't anywhere in our developer docs.
He said 33.5. Where did he go? He goes off the rail talking about 67. Again, like, this is what I said before, too. We're going to finish this. How are you that stupid to believe that that could even be possible without having a CPU to run that much teraflops? And the RAM and the power supply, all of that. This just shows that these people don't know what they're talking about. They're just frauds. Once again, how does that simple logic fly out of your mind if you understand the foundation of building things? If I wanted to take, which the PS5 had 10.5 teraflops, and jump up even 3 times the amount, how am I going to do that without the power supply, without the speed, and without the memory? I'm going to need to redesign all that. How am I going all the way up times 6 to the 60 range? Like, how does that, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even think my mind of trying to say that because it just literally is stupid. Let's continue.
Comes from a misunderstanding by someone commenting on leaked
Misunderstanding. He's basically calling them ignorant. You don't understand the way things work.
PS5 Pro technical information. Part of the confusion comes from RDNA 3
You're confused.
architectures having double the flops of RDNA 2 architectures. Now, to quote Digital Foundry on this topic, it's a nice little bonus to have twice the flops, but it doesn't do anything like double real-world performance. So there's a certain amount of flopflation going on
Flopflation. Basically, he's saying there's a lot of bullshit going around
here.
by people who are confused and are ignorant and don't understand. Oof. He's telling them, shut the hell up. You're annoying. Let me school you real quick professionally. Flopflation. They had to make that word because that means that you're annoying them. Like, shut up. Like he said, your information is a flop. There's a reason why that label is there. Like he said, going around that don't understand. You're idiots. That's why I was telling that guy the other day, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? You're a moron because you are being a moron. You're making people focus on nonsense. It's all meaningless stuff. Like you're never going to see that in performance. You're just looking at numbers that are not going to do anything. Let's take a look at the real number. And I've said this, it's 16.7. That's the real number, that number, and nothing else. Stop making people focus on anything else because people want to know what the hell the performance is actually going to be. Oh, so this is the performance. It's 16.7 teraflops. And why are you telling me about this? Because I'm not going to get that performance. Does that make sense? Right? Otherwise, you're just an idiot to me. Like, because then you go around like making people focus on this and you start up all these little cult nonsense followings, fanboys running around being rude to people with bullshit that is not true. And it gets annoying. Like, this just happens in a lot of topics and subjects I have to get in. And boy, I have to tell you, it's like a herd of idiots. They go around and gang up and like each other's stupidity and attack people intelligent. It gets annoying. That's why. So let's get past it. Let's go with Turk said right here. We ready for this?
RTX 4070. In quality mode, we have mid 40s coming out of the hut, moving up to the lower 50s.
Keep in mind, when he was doing these comparisons too, these cards were running on higher settings and higher ray tracing settings.
At the halfway point and mid to lower 40s in the water. To put that in PS5 Pro terms, the 4070 is at least 43% faster than the Pro. Let's continue to drive the point home with F124. I don't have access.
And this is what they started arguing about. Now, you see that he has his tools and he knows what he's talking about. Now, let's go to this thread. Well, for starters, it performs better than a 3070. No, it does not. Second, it's a bit better than a 6800, just under 6800 XT. No, it's not. And we've done the benchmarks. Oh boy, man. You know what, guys? This is not gonna take me that long because I know exactly where to go. This is how much I know my stuff. Watch, I'll find this video real quick for y'all. Watch this, y'all. It's right here. I know my stuff.
It's toggleable on the menu, and it does actually do something quite interesting. Parts in the Pro.
Here goes the RX 6800.
Based on real world performance. Right now, all of the sort of conjecture about the performance of the PlayStation 5 Pro has been based on Sony's statement that it's 45% faster, but certainly Game Boost, it rarely gets there. I was also curious about ray tracing support.
What is it doing at 48? This is maintaining 60.
On the Pro, and whether Game Boost taps into the extra features, because the Pro has extra RT features, right? I was curious if the backwards compatibility would kick in with those features, similar to the way it does on a PC, but I don't think it does. So I'm using control in photo mode here, which unlocks frame rate, and of course, we have returned to the code.
Anyways, and there's other tests too. The 6800 is winning. So yeah, he's sharing this old stuff, but when we're doing benchmarks, it's different and it scales game by game too. You can't just think that this on paper means that that's the actual reality for every benchmark engine game. You know what I mean? Like that no, you need to do live benchmarks. You need to test it. And he's not doing any of that. So 1600 X3 3% better than 4070. So that would put it around the same level as a 4070 and raster. Oh boy. Sorry, D, you're wrong by every metric. Just sit down. Yep, he's right. That's the video I just showed y'all, by the way. And then he goes back to this again. Instead of looking at live benchmarks, and this all this time has passed, he still hasn't said anything about a live benchmark. Oof, you don't know what you're talking about. Every metric people claim, it's better. It's wrong. Do you know what raster is? Now he's talking about restoration. We're talking about full totality of performance. That means, see, he copes and wants to live in a fantasy that the PS5 Pro is where it should be. Why not just face reality? Then this all could be over with instantly. But that's how ignorant people are like him. I think y'all know what I mean. Like, they're just completely ignorant. Like, correct yourself, get past it, and get in reality. You lost. You lost the argument. You're ignorant. Even Mark Sonny said, shut up with all that. And then they still post right after that. Even the own person that creates it, he don't create anything. This is how ignorant they are. Then he says, did you see the preference on Ratchet and God of War F124? You're just using old games, bro. Like, and that's why they try to highlight those type of games. The Last of Us. That ain't going to even be running on max settings. Do you realize a 3070 only has 8 gigabytes of VRAM? That's actually irrelevant because it's still going to outperform. Actually, that's only if games have VRAM settings that demand that way more. Otherwise, that's irrelevant because still a card like the 4070 or even like a 4060 Ti is still going to outperform it because most of that stuff does not require VRAM like that. And the PlayStation 5 Pro is not using all those high settings. They tone down stuff and then give themselves dynamic resolutions. They're not running anything native. It's all upscaled. That's what he's missing. He's not giving you all the full details. He says, just sit down. You speak about things you don't understand and make claims you can't back up. Watch the video, learn a thing or two, and stay quiet. He says, LOL, using games not patched like Elden Ring. Bro, The Last of Us high settings on RTX 3070, 1440p, 36 frames per second. You do know I'm a PC gamer, right? That's irrelevant. And there's people that come on this thread. 8 gigabytes 3070 is bandwidth starved. It's not better than PS5 Pro. He's wrong. The Last of Us 2 PS5 Pro settings aren't matched. Throw this benchmark out. It says, Kirby, you of all people should know that 8 gigabytes out of 3070 cripples it at high resolution. No, it does not. It's only if it demands VRAM settings. And for that type of game, it's not going to even exist. Get out of here. That's a bunch of garbage. This guy is full of it. I'm well aware of VRAM limits. You still are trying to do a bad comparison. 100% correct. I mean, all people are coming in here telling him this. But let's go back to the thread between him and Turk. This single screen grab proves you're wrong. Go watch the video, learn something, and sit down. Like I said, he has all the metrics here to show you everything every second. And he's absolutely correct right here. And it's running also at the correct settings that he's talking about, right down here too. Then he says, you do know that F124 has a 4K 120 hertz mode that stays at 120 frames per second, right? So he really believes that this is not dynamic. The final target resolution is 4K, but the technology uses to get to 4K at 120 frames per second differs from the quality mode, running at a dynamic 1440p, yes. Though drops under that figure are rare. It's typically a static 1440p. The clip you showed in your video was at 1440p for the 3070. It was getting 55 to 65, bro. You can't defeat the lack of VRAM. That has nothing to do with anything. You don't understand dynamic resolution scaling. No, he does not. And then he says, LOL, static 1440p upscale to 4K and 4K 120 hertz mode. Do you understand what he would say? What that typically means? It doesn't matter. Usually like 99% of the time, LOL, you're just yapping now. How many? No, all he's doing is yapping. Just like he's talking about all that 67, all that stuff. It's just all a bunch of blah, 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 because it's not real world performance. Everything after that, he's yapping because he was wrong from the get-go. 8 gigabytes card is not good past 1440p. That's a lie. That's absolutely a lie, because there's plenty of games you can run at native 4K, and they're not going to ask you to have more VRAM. It's only if it needs more VRAM. For newer games that are demanding that, because they may have designed it around a 16 VRAM design, if it's on consoles that are using that. But they're still way weaker in other aspects than a PC card. See, his logic is flawed. He's not understanding what he's talking about. And then he talks about 8 gigabytes card not past 1440p. 1440p still some bottlenecks. But the funny thing is what I find funny about this is that when he was talking about 4K 120, now realizing that it was dynamic, is that he highlights something called the final target resolution is 4K, like he was saying. But the technology used to get to 4K at 120 frames per second differs from the quality mode, running at a dynamic 1440p. Though drops under that figures are rare. It's typically a static. Turks was trying to tell him that. This is what he says. You literally just highlighted the words dynamic 1440p. And then went straight to typically a static 1440p. You don't understand basic definitions. Again, he's not understanding it. He's literally making himself look dumb, and he doesn't realize this. This is crazy. And he says you are being disingenuous. How is he being disingenuous? They say the engine is dynamic 1440p. What is he talking about? But it rarely drops below 1440p. The rest is synaptics and mental gymnastics on your part. Either that or or your simple English comprehension skills are lacking. To be honest, I know it's not the latter. You are just being obtuse. No L's on my part. I showed the 3070 hitting both 1440 120p. That video I showed, it's in there. He's done it. I've been seeing this. That's why I keep on telling people that. And 4K 60. I showed all 3 modes hitting what the PlayStation 5 Pro does with a card you said it can't do. Yes, he did. You're getting dragged by everyone, and now you're getting receipts thrown in your face by someone who knows what they're talking about. Yeah, because he's actually doing the test. This is his job. He's just pretending. You're wrong. And back to the original point, the 4070 is way beyond anything I've shown you. You're just wrong, idiot. I hate to say that, but he's an idiot because he said it was close to a 4070, and he was going along with that stuff back in the days. Then Jimmy comes in. Why do they keep lying and twisting reality so that their electrical appliance of choice looks better than it is? Are they Sony shareholders or just stupid? I mean, at this point, like I said, I would not be surprised, bro. Because, it's like, bro, just stop being ignorant, man. Like, he claims the videos are accurate, but they're clearly off in many aspects. He tested hardware legacy of 1440p when the actual resolution is 1800p. So, yeah, anyways, you guys are kind of getting the point here. This guy just will not admit, his ignorance. And what What's-His-Face was saying about him was 100% correct. That's why I went and did a react to that video, too. 73 people liked it. They got 1.1K. And remember, guys, I've been doing this for 10 months. You got some people trying to downplay my channel, but they don't do anything. They're not on stage. They're not providing any intel to people. And I'm coming here to back up Turk, too. Though I don't need to because he's smart enough to back himself up. But me and him talked about it. But, yeah, this is the thing. It's like, dude, you would be fine if you're not still trying to push this when he just, if Mark Cerny himself told you that, why are you still going about that and saying that when it's literally not relevant to the performance and reality that you're going to get? Because they're trying to make it look as good as other cards. I can take those other cards that actually have somewhere around that performance, like a 4090 that has 80, and I can triple that and say that has 240 TFLOPS at 16-bit. It just, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're playing a game that's stupid. But I want to know what I'm getting as an actual result, because that's what is the reality. They're just in fantasy land with this. And then you go on, you're supposed to do all this from the get-go. You should have realized that you were just wrong. Just do it, man. You know what I mean? Instead of just drag. That's why people like me have to exist and make these videos. That's why we have to do this. You got people wondering why I do this. Because look at all this ignorance out here. All these people are going to be brainwashed if they believe him or follow him for certain reasons, depending on what they think of him or how he appears and all that. You know, this world is full of ignorance. So, yeah. It says D, all love, brother, but honestly, nobody on social media, especially fanboys, care about specs on paper. They want real world results. And the Pro is just not producing what specs on paper are hyping up. Reminds me of every other new console spec release, honestly, all hype. This guy is correct. Because we're talking about, okay, let's test it. right? Because people could be writing it up and get it paid. You don't know what people could be writing, right? But when I'm seeing these tests, that's why I tell all these people. Like I had that big drama on Twitter the other day. You writing all this stuff, but boy, let me tell you, I'm looking at the benchmarks. I up to date right now. This one fat loser tried to come in and give me a benchmark that was like 10 months old. I'm like, bro, I'm seeing benchmarks right now. The Pro wasn't even out at that time. Shut your dumb ass up talking about the base PlayStation 5 is on par with a 4060. You're out of your damn mind. No, it's not. Not only that, but they don't. Let me show you something here. The PlayStation 5 Pro and the PS5 also don't have no tensor cores, just to let you guys know. What is that? It accelerates your AI algorithm. It can't compete. Mark Cerny also said that the PSSR is a lightweight algorithm. It's a lightweight system. It's not meant to compete with fully integrated systems on PC, which have fully integrated graphics cards and fully integrated CPUs on the motherboard, so they could use also more power and more watts. The PlayStation 5 tech is an APU. Yes, the technology powering the PlayStation 5 is considered an APU tech, which means that it's combining the CPU and GPU on a single chip like a mobile chip. It ain't running in the full power that you would think a PC is running. Even a laptop doesn't use APUs. Maybe some do, if you're using like ARMs or whatever. But what I'm saying is that when you take a look at somebody grabbing a 4080, this damn card is about a chunk of the size of the damn PlayStation 5. It can't fit in there. And it's running at full capacity, being powered by all those algorithms, fully dedicated tensor cores. NPU aspects is I'm about to show you. Watch this. PlayStation 5 Pro has no NPU. No tensor cores and no NPU. According to the current information, the PS5 Pro does not have a dedicated neural processing unit. Instead of relying on a significantly enhanced GPU to handle AI relating like upscaling. So everything that the PSSR is doing with that lightweight system is using the GPU specifically in there. And in the video cards and in the AMD cards fully on the PC, which is fully integrated and not slammed together. They're fully integrated and all their full watts are being powered by all these AI acceleration systems to help take the load off of the GPU. When you combine all three of those aspects I just showed you together with their fully integrated AI systems and frame generation, there's no way in hell the console can compete. When they do these comparisons, they handicap the PCs. Because they're just doing it just to show you, and they still loses. If you don't handicap the PCs, it absolutely destroys the console. All these benchmarks have been handicapping the PC to make it seem like a PS5 Pro. They don't even know that. But what is the reality? Are you really going to do that when you play your game? I'm really going to handicap my PC. Hell no, you're not going to do that. You're going to run it at full capacity. And when you do that, there is no competition. You really think you can compete with a 4070? Yeah, put that 4070 as full capacity with the right CPU and the right RAM, with frame generation on and DLSS. You got to get fucking smoked. Like 43, 44%. Maybe even more than that. It's not happening, y'all. It's just not going to happen. But they're not giving you this type of knowledge. They're just saying nonsense like that. Where people like Turk are sitting there every day busting their ass doing benchmarks and sharing it with people. So that's my thing with that, is that we need to shut all this down. So that's why I made this video. Because like I said, me and him talked, and I'm not going to show our conversation because I'm going to be respectful about it. But as you see right here, we talked down here. Actually, I have my camera right here. That's it. But let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe. If people want to still challenge me, come in the comments. But I mean, I would be a little bit more reasonable. But it still happens, y'all, by the way, just to let y'all know. So yeah, glad to do this. About to launch this right now. It's 10 o'clock over here, or 10:09. So you'll be seeing this going live soon. And yeah, I mean, D-Bet, you're wrong. Sorry, dude. Later, y'all.